M Micallef has announced a 2023 holiday advent calendar, and since I purchased the one from 2022 and I have good reason to believe most of those fragrances will also feature in this holiday advent calendar, I figured why not talk through all the fragrances in the 2022 holiday advent calendar. M Micallef had these 10 milliliter bottles for 23 fragrances and then a bonus 30 ml of their new fragrance at the time, Soleil Passion. However, they also included that fragrance in the 10 ml size as well, which is what we're going to be covering in today's video. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to be smelling 23 of these little 10 ml sizes, and honestly I feel like this is an ideal way to really get to know the house. If you're interested in buying the M Micallef calendar after this video, I highly recommend you do so, because this was a fantastic way for me to evaluate different fragrances, and honestly the pricing is pretty spot on. I'm trying to do this in the most efficient way possible, so I've basically torn up a bunch of notebook paper and we're going to be spraying the fragrances on, and I'm going to tell you what I think as I go along. So this is 20 years. This is an aromatic fruity fragrance, and honestly it smells really good. So what I found when I was really going through each and every single one of these fragrances is M Micallef's signature seems to be including a lot of soft, spicy notes in their fragrances. They also play around with a lot of white florals, and this is a good example of that. This fragrance prominently features orange blossom and geranium, which is a floral note that happens to lean very aromatic, and I honestly really do like the way this smells. It smells really beautiful. You get a lot of those fruity elements, but it's paired with a lovely floral accord that I absolutely really like. So this is a good one. I really like it. 20 Years by M Micallef. Next up is Royal Musca, and there's something about a beautiful musk scent with a woody undertone that I absolutely gravitate towards. This is so good, and it also has this peach note, which adds this like fuzzy roundness to it that is absolutely intoxicating. This is a gorgeous scent, and if you are into the Narciso Rodriguez type of musks, this is a really good option to try out as well. This smells amazing. I think, honestly, this is one of my favorites in the collection. It smells intoxicating. Oh my goodness, it smells gorgeous. So yes, this is a musk fragrance with a woody undertone and a slight fruity accord in the form of a peach. But I definitely get a very sensual musk with this. And it's leaning animalic, but not quite. It's primarily a clean, laundry smelling musk that is absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot stop smelling this. Next up is Note Vanille. This is a gorgeous vanilla fragrance, but it's not straight up vanilla extract. It does have complexity to it. I smell a bit of a woodier undertone with some boozy elements. This has notes of rum, cognac. It's very inviting, very sensual. If you are a vanilla lover and you want something that's more complex, more boozy, this is an amazing fragrance to try. Note Vanille. Oh my goodness, so intoxicating. This one is really good. I don't like it as much as Royal Musca, but that's just my preference. I love a good musk. This is still quite intoxicating, and I really do love it. Alright, the lighting in this video is going to be a little bit inconsistent. The sun keeps going behind some clouds, and it's currently sunset. I'm trying to get a few videos knocked out because I'm doing a lot of pre-filming. Yeah, this is Gardenia. Gardenia is very heavy on the traditional white florals, as you may expect from a scent called Gardenia. However, this does have a bit of peachiness, some sandalwood. It's just like a very heavy white floral fragrance. I believe it also has jasmine. I'm smelling a very heady gardenia with jasmine and some fruity elements. Personally, this is not a fragrance for me since it does lean so heavily into the white florals. I am very happy with my 10 milliliter decant, I guess, but I wouldn't, I mean, I can't see myself ever purchasing a full size of this, but it's one of those comforting fragrances that if you really appreciate white florals, you would gravitate towards this one. However, to me, it just leans a little bit too heavy on the gardenia, but it is a fragrance designed to chronicle the gardenia note. So there you go. I really do like it, but it's not necessarily a fragrance that I picture myself wearing day in and day out, if you know what I mean. But it is quite beautiful. One of the reasons why I've never actually purchased an M Micallef scent in its full size is because I just find myself kind of torn between what scents to buy a full bottle of and what to kind of wait on. So that's why I haven't actually purchased a full size yet, because I'm just so overwhelmed. Gaiac is one of those fragrances by M Micallef that I absolutely love, and I really, really would love to get a full bottle of this. But again, there's so many others that I absolutely love, so it's just very difficult to choose for me. This is, yes, it's a Gaiac fragrance, but it has a lot of complexity besides just that. It has bergamot, it has a bit of vanilla, it's a warm, spicy perfume. It has a hint of an aromatic accord, and it's just like really, really lovely. So it's like woody, but with some aromatic thrown in. It's just really, really beautiful. It is unisex in my opinion. A lot of these fragrances, they vary. Some lean more unisex, some are feminine. This one is unisex, but it's just like, it's just really comforting. So I've always been drawn to this one. I just I keep wanting to smell it. It's really, really gorgeous. It's just like this rich, woody fragrance that is absolutely intoxicating. I cannot stop smelling this. It's beautiful. I love this one. Gaiac, Gaiac wood, Gaiac. It's gorgeous. This next fragrance is supposed to have cannabis in the scent pyramid. Honestly, I don't smell it. But this is a very warm, spicy, aromatic scent with some cardamom, bergamot. This fragrance is called Desir Toxic. I would classify this as primarily masculine. I do really like it, but I can't see myself reaching for this. So I'd say it's unisex leaning masculine. Yeah, it's really good. It's quite lovely. I don't smell the cannabis, even though it's listed in the scent pyramid. And not unlike a lot of the other fragrances we're going to be covering in this video, this does have a slight cinnamon note. These fragrances are all very versatile, and that's really what I want to highlight in this video. And this one is a good example because it has a note like cinnamon, which to some people is a little bit too abrasive, but in this fragrance, it really, really does work. So this is Desir Toxic, or Desir Toxic by M Micallef, a really beautiful perfume. It leans more on the unisex side, but yeah, it's really quite lovely. Next up, we have Eden Falls. This, like the previous fragrance I just mentioned, contains a soft spiciness to it that serves to accent the fragrance rather to overpower it. This time, Eden Falls has the note of coriander, and upon first sniff, I really do get that sharp spiciness, but it's softened by some pink pepper, tangerine. This is a really beautiful fragrance, and once again, I appreciate how they have combined spicy notes with other more universally appealing fragrance notes to produce a scent that's spicy, but it's not overtaken by that spice, which I really do like. This I would classify as unisex, leaning masculine. A woman could definitely pull this off. However, I personally probably wouldn't reach for this. But smelling this on a guy, I feel like this would be pure magnetism. This is really quite beautiful. So, yes. Eden Falls, absolutely intoxicating. I really like this one. The next one is Ylang in Gold, and this was like a huge hit a few summers ago. Summer 2022, I think this was like a huge hit. Honestly, I will say this, I have a love-hate relationship with this. Not that I hate this, but this is one of those fragrances that I feel kind of ambivalent towards because it has the note of ylang ylang. I mean, it's ylang in gold. So it has a coconut ylang ylang tropical feel to it. So if you like ylang ylang, this might be the fragrance for you to try. However, I have always had a bit of a adversity to a lot of fragrances with the note of ylang ylang. I don't know what it is, but something about it just doesn't work for me a lot of the time. And yeah, this is one of those fragrances. I really, really want to appreciate this more, and I do like the way it smells, but I've never worn this perfume, and the simple reason is I just don't like the scent of ylang ylang. But I definitely can appreciate this as a beautiful tropical white floral perfume. It's honestly delicious, but it's just not a fragrance for me. So, Ylang in Gold by M Micallef. I'm curious to hear what your opinion on this might be if you've already tried this one. It's a beautiful fragrance. However, it's not to my taste personally, but it's really, really quite beautiful. My battery died, so that's why the shift in the camera angle happened. I hope it's not too noticeable, but we are going to be talking about Pure Extreme next. So as you heard me obsess over Royal Musca in terms of the musk note, this is also a really beautiful musk, but if you don't want the animalic aspect, this is a better option since it has a softer, cleaner approach with some florals. I believe this has rose. It's really beautiful with some gardenia and jasmine, so it has that musk with white florals. And I don't smell anything woody in the undertone personally. It might be there, but it's definitely not as prominent as Royal Musca. Personally, I prefer Royal Musca since I do like that animalic edge, but this is a really beautiful, softer version of it. However, it's a completely different fragrance, might I make that clear. This is a floral interpretation of a clean musk, and it's really quite beautiful. I'm going to try and speed this along as best as I can because there are 23 fragrances to talk about, and I don't know how I'm doing on time. This is Watch. It's kind of like a bubblegum tuberose scent. It seems to me like a very classic interpretation of a white floral fragrance. So it smells very traditional. It is quite beautiful. I would say if you were a fan of, I'm not saying gardenia's in here, I don't know if I smell it or not, but if you're a fan of white florals such as gardenia, you might really appreciate this one, even more so if you're a fan of tuberose. I'm talking classic white floral tuberose. This is a really beautiful interpretation of that. However, to me personally, again, this is my taste and what I prefer to wear at this stage. I don't like to wear fragrances that are so significant when it comes to the traditional white floral interpretation. I prefer something that's different to this, but I can appreciate this as being a really beautiful fragrance. So this is kind of like in a similar vein to Ylang in Gold. I can appreciate that fragrance, however, I don't like the ylang ylang note. And likewise, I can appreciate this perfume, but I don't like the interpretation of tuberose in this particular scent. However, it is quite beautiful and I can appreciate it in that sense. We're getting golden hour now. I honestly, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to be transparent with you guys. I usually film my YouTube videos on Sunday evenings, and I should probably film them earlier in the day, but as you know, there's so much going on sometimes when it comes to weekends, when you're working 9 to 5, that you just don't have a lot of time. So I film a lot on Sunday evenings. And this has been, I think, by far the most inconsistent lighting I have experienced since I started filming in this space. And it is a bit aggravating to me because I'm probably going to have to do a lot of color correction in post-production. And I don't know, I mean, you probably don't care, but I'm just very, I guess, particular when it comes to these things. So yeah, right now I look yellow. So let's correct that, shall we? Okay, that's not good. Okay, I think that's better. I spoke about how when it comes to M Micallef, sometimes I'm just overwhelmed by how many fragrances I really like from the brand. So that's why I've never actually gotten a full bottle, because I just don't know what to choose first. Spiritual is one of those fragrances that I'm just drawn to. This is so delicious. It's a white floral with, I believe, like vanilla and an ambery base, and it's just a beautiful interpretation of jasmine. And the way this is executed, it's almost like a honeyed jasmine. You can smell the nectar of the jasmine in the perfume. It's really quite uncanny. This is so photorealistic and so lovely. Yeah, spiritual. This is so good. It's like a beautiful, juicy, and I say juicy because of the nectar interpretation that I just mentioned. It's a beautiful, juicy, white floral perfume. That is really quite beautiful. This is this is good. This is good. There's so many good ones from M Micallef. I'm trying to think. Was that part of the Secrets of Love collection? I don't know. I'm like, see, the thing is, I've wanted to film this video for a really long time, and I've kind of utilized this advent calendar announcement as an opportunity for me to go through all these fragrances by M Micallef, but I'm going to be completely transparent with you. The sheer number is a bit overwhelming because I'm trying to provide value to you by describing what each fragrance smells like, but it's a bit much, and I'm getting things mixed up. I will say that. So this is Royal Vintage. First impression, this is a very, I don't think I've actually smelled this one before. I'm so good at this. This is a very minty fragrance, a very minty aromatic perfume. So yes, I see this on a guy, but I also believe this is very unisex. So honestly, a very fresh, minty, zesty perfume. It's really quite lovely, Royal Vintage. Next up, I believe this is the Secrets of Love collection. This is lovely. Glamour by M Micallef. So beautiful. So the way of putting this very simply is, this is Mugler Alien with a lot of depth and complexity. So the current formulation of Mugler's Alien is almost soapy in the way it's executed. This has that jasmine, but there's no soapiness whatsoever. It's just a lovely jasmine amber perfume. Honestly, this has been on my wish list for a while now, and I keep saying that. I mean, you already know how many M Micallef fragrances I would love to get full bottles of. This is one of them, but I've kind of been balking at it because I'm like, I already have Alien, but this is honestly like a richer, more heady version of it. It's honestly kind of better in terms of the beautiful, intoxicating jasmine and amber. This is really, really good. So, Glamour by M Micallef, an absolute classic in my opinion. This is gorgeous. There are so many fragrances and I feel like I've barely made a dent. It's kind of insane. This next one is Soleil Passion, a beautiful fruity pomegranate scent, but it still has that classical DNA that's present in a lot of these other M Micallef creations.
This is like a little bit of a woody fragrance with strawberry, pomegranate, orange, rose. It's a fruity floral. It's really, really good. Honestly, when I first tried this like a year ago, it wasn't a fragrance that I really, really liked, but it grows on you. You know, it's just a beautiful, fruity floral, and it's really, really good.
Again, it's a very classical scent, but oh boy, Soleil Passion, this one's a beautiful one. Okay, next up is Delice, again on my full bottle wish list. I think I've said that a lot of times in this video and for good reason. This is a beautiful oud fragrance with a fresh, zesty, kind of aromatic zing to it that's really, really beautiful. So I've spoken a lot about how M Micallef includes a lot of spicy notes in their fragrances, but they serve more as accents rather than prominent players in the perfume. And this is kind of like, this is emblematic of that. So you have notes in here like bay leaf, cinnamon, nutmeg, but it's a fresh, zesty version of all those spices, which could easily translate to like a super heady, spicy fragrance, but this is not that. It's zesty because of the way they've incorporated all these different notes, and it's just a really beautiful kind of like fresh, warm, spicy oud, and it's really, really lovely. I really like this one. I consider this very much unisex, probably leaning masculine, sensual. So, again, this is a white floral. Again, you have that soft spiciness with, surprise, surprise, nutmeg, which is included in this fragrance. However, what takes center stage is the orange blossom. And a bit of a zesty fruitiness with lemon and grapefruit at the top. This is really beautiful. It's light. It has some body to it with the orange blossom. It has a hint of diversity with that little spice, but honestly, I really like this. Sensual. It's beautiful. If you love orange blossom, this is a good contender for you. Ah, this is so good. Yeah, orange blossom, sensual. This is gorgeous. Am I going too fast now? I don't even know. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like on an assembly line, ripping notebook paper and smelling perfumes with you. That is what we're doing now. So what's this next one? Oziato? Let me check my notes. I don't remember. I don't think I added this to my notes. Okay. You know what? We're going to do a risk-free interpretation of what this smells like. Because sometimes I like to kind of do a little bit of research before filming my videos, and I like to have notes. I've given up on that clearly with this fragrance because I can't keep track. Okay, so Oziato, first interpretations, it's a soft, spicy perfume. It's very enveloping. It has a lot of depth to it. It's primarily on the masculine side, in my opinion. It's quite good. On a man, this would be very good. It's kind of like your typical ambroxan heavy scent, but it does have depth. It's very interesting. I like this a lot. On a guy, this would be really good. For me, though, not so much. But have I sprayed something on this? No. I think so, actually. Okay, so next up, let's talk about Ananda. So let's spray this on. This is a fruity floral. Yes, there are a lot of fruity florals in this selection, but this one is pear, plum, and tuberose. So it's kind of like a bubblegum tuberose with that pear and plum. So it's kind of soft. I kind of get like a little bit of fuzziness with it. Honestly, I really, really like this. If you like pear, you should check this out. So this is Ananda. This is like, honestly, okay. This smells like you just picked off a pear and you're getting that like warm, fruity smell of what a fresh pear, like I mean, a fresh pear off a tree smells like. Um, with tuberose and a bit of sweetness is just, it's quite nice. I really like this one. It's just like a fuzzy tuberose, and it's fuzzy because of that pear. You kind of get what I mean? So it's like that pear and there's plum. This is really beautiful. I really like this one. Next, I have their nectars. Now, they have 4 in this selection. So we have Ylang Gold Nectar, Royal Musca, Pure Extreme, and Ananda. And since these are nectar versions of fragrances I've already covered, and honestly, I don't even know how long this video is going to be, I'm just going to spray these on some paper and give you like my quick and dirty opinions. Yeah, this is going to be like a very quick version of what I previously have been sharing with you. So Pure Extreme Nectar, honestly, very good. I feel like this is a bit more floral. Get a little bit of muskiness. There's a lot of depth in here. Yeah, this is really good. A little bit of a woody base. I really like this one. Next up, let's cover Royal Musca Nectar. I know I will love this one. Actually, hold on. I don't know if I'm going nose blind, but I'm kind of almost getting... This to me smells less potent than the non-nectar version. And I think this is me going nose blind. I smell like a... This smells similar, obviously, to the original Royal Musca, but I don't smell like anything beyond that. So I think I might be going nose blind to it. It smells really good, but not a lot of diversity, or actually no, not a lot of variance in terms of intensity, in my opinion. But then again, I've been sniffing these this entire video, so it's possible that I just got nose blind. So this next one is Ylang Gold Nectar. Again, similar to Ylang Gold, but this one, honestly, I smell more of the coconut in this one. I like this one more than the original Ylang Gold. So remember how I told you I'm kind of picky when it comes to Ylang Ylang? In this scenario, the Ylang Ylang is tempered a bit by, I think, more of that coconut. It's quite lovely. I actually do like this one. I like this one more than the original Ylang Ylang in gold. The non-nectar version. I'll say that. Okay, next up, a non-nectar. This is good. It smells like a fruity floral, but again, it's similar to Ananda, but with more depth. This smells lovely. It's just, it smells headier, like it has more depth and structure. So honestly, I like this more. I really like these nectars. These nectars, in my opinion, are in some ways, I mean, better smelling than the original fragrances. In some ways, not in all the ones. But yeah. Anyway, that was pretty much it for this. I don't think I've ever talked about so many fragrances in one video, and I do hope you were able to gain some value from this quick fire review of, I think, the majority of what M Micallef has to offer. Again, they have their advent calendar. I highly recommend you check that out. I'm sure it'll be an amazing value. I don't know what the 30 ml is going to be this year, but if I find out, I'll post it on the community tab, I think. But anyway, thank you so much for watching till the end of this very long video, and I will see you next time. Bye.